You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Hello and welcome to another awesome episode of My Wheelhouse, incredible sports show discussing basketball and sometimes other sport topics from past, present, and future. As always, I'm your host Seamus. I'm joined once again with my Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great. Let's talk some hoops.
I agree. And Logan, welcome back on the show. What is this, like
Glad to
4
be
or
here.
5?
4, I think.
Who
Not
knows?
bad.
Whatever.
50%. I think I'm shooting 50%.
Yeah, I agree. I
I
really
was
don't.
wondering who was on the. There's one guy. He's kind of like the mystery guy. He's like the drummer from the Beatles. The guy on the first show. I have no idea who that was. Who was the guy on the first show?
Sam Hurst. Yeah, shout out Sam.
Sam Hurst.
Yeah, shout out Sam. We like Sam.
Okay.
Sam will be coming back on eventually.
All right,
I mean,
okay.
we'll make sure he's on an episode with you. Don't
Okay.
worry. I don't really have anything to say before we get to the wheel. I'm trying to get my website or the My Wheelhouse website up by the end of the week, so hopefully that's up there. Uncle Mike has already committed to writing content, but actually script, so you're going to be writing like actual on pen on pieces of paper.
Yeah, I've been sending you a little stuff.
I have,
I've
I've seen
where
them.
you can just take a picture of it.
Right,
send
and we're
it
going to
in.
updating it. Yeah, that's going to be good.
That'll
We'll
work
put
for me.
translations and stuff in for other people, but yeah, that should be good. Let's get after it. After last week, Mike told me that Ray Paul was the best spinner that we had
Yes,
on the
definitely.
show.
Could have
to
been the
date.
wheel.
Could have been the
was
wheel.
in particularly good shape last week.
Okay, I
Let's
landed
get
on
on there.
Brad and Bill. All right, so I just
Oh.
wanted to discuss. So Brad
Yeah.
Stevens, coach of the Celtics, has been attending several Patriots camps and has been spotted on the sideline, photographed standing next to and conversing with Bill Belichick. I just wanted to know what you think they're talking about. Do you think he can draw some type of just like mindset insight? Do you think he's talking to Tom Brady about how to really motivate his players to be like the greatest of the versions of
I know,
themselves?
like in my coaching career, for what it was, I was at Mount St. Charles, and I was a basketball coach at Mount St. Charles, and I was one of the rare people that got to go to Bill Belial's hockey practices, all right? And what you did is you went, and man, you just took it in. You looked at the organization, you looked at the drills he was running, the conditioning that they was going to
Yep.
have, and you just kind of soaked it all in. It's like if you see a guy that's that successful, you know there's something going on there, and there was.
So what is it that you're drawing from? Just mentality? Like what are you taking from those type of practices?
Well, what I got from Bill Belial's practice is that the conditioning was absolutely insane. It was like there was a puke bucket, a barrel at the end of each end of the ice,
Yep.
and they used them.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy how hard they went. And I think that's something that is said to me was conditioning is the deal.
So
I
you
don't
think
care
maybe Brad's seeing people run through tires and he's like, oh, I got to get some tires.
I think there's a common ground with
Yeah.
coaches that we talk about sometimes about coaches, players, media, fans. I think there's a little box there that coaches are
Regardless of
in.
sport.
I would say that I thought we were going to talk about Brad Stevens separately and Bill Belichick separately about what they got together.
I mean, the names are on the wheel. You can talk about whatever you want. Like, you can go for it.
Brad's a visionary.
Right.
And, one thing we talked about, we had Larry Brown made the show last week.
He
in
did.
the
He was your
card
coach.
game.
I remember that.
And I got an interesting quote from it. It came out of Bill Reynolds' column in the Journal a couple of weeks back. And his thing is about basketball. It's become a video game league.
Yeah,
It's
we were talking about that last week.
It's all about defending three-pointers.
Yeah.
And the best coach in the league at defending three-pointers right now appears to be Stevens.
Brad Stevens. The
So
opposing teams have had the lowest three-point
So
percentage
over the
since Brad
last number of
Stevens
years,
has been coach.
So
Yeah.
what you're seeing with Brad Stevens is a visionary that's come in that has a real handle on how the game is played and how modern the game is and how he's with it. He's right on top. He's right on the edge of what's going on. And I think it's really true. That's what's going on. I don't like it that much, that the game has become defending the three-pointer.
It's funny, though, because in the article that we were talking about where they were predicting the records for the upcoming year, one of the big things that, I forget who the actual staffer and who the author was that wrote that article that predicted Celtics would only get 49 wins, they were saying that they're going to regress to the mean because teams shot record league low in terms of three-point percentage. And I was like, well, that's because we're the best at defending the league. I don't know. What do you think about just Brad and Bill and their influence on one another? Like, what do you think?
I think it's great for Brad. I think Brad's past up and coming. I think he's a top tier coach in the league. I think like strategy, like his smarts is past. I mean, everybody but Pop maybe.
Yeah,
like I literally think that
my
he's
top
probably top. Yeah, definitely top 5, maybe top 3 coach in the league right now, and he's 42.
Yeah, he's
Like,
incredible. He said
so-
he was in an interview. He said he's had something like 400 plus out of bounds plays just memorized, which is just ludicrous.
Yeah, well, I mean that's insane, but that's like off of one play you can have 5 different plays.
Right,
so
yeah,
you
of
know,
course, of
it's
course.
He's got a way of communicating that the players like a lot,
Right.
and allows him to get inside the player's head without the player really even knowing about it. And you know,
That's
he
important.
Just,
Yeah.
you know, it's just naturally what he does.
and that's super important with a player like Marcus Smart or like players that
How
you kind
about-
of need that.
How about the new jail guy,
Marcus
Marcus? They go to
Smart?
court yet? Yeah, that one.
Who knows?
I think when he doesn't get enough playing time, that could be a tough one for Brad. But
Well,
I
he
got all
does
the
seem
confidence
like-
in the world in him
Yeah,
managing
he
this.
seems
you know?
like he really knows how to corral players. Maybe someone that might have something that's going to cause them to struggle in terms of chemistry with their players and their counterparts. He really seems to have a good understanding in situations to place players where they're succeeding and they think that they're succeeding, even if it is in a lesser role that they may have been in a different situation.
And I think it's seeped into the mentality across the league. And now other players, they see what's going on here, and they see they're all looking for an ideal situation themselves. And there's a lot of coaches, they don't want to, you know, Phil Jackson in the triangles we talked about a little bit last week. But Stevens, they like what's going on there. They like the style, the play, and he's really adapted the 3 as much. I mean, he takes 43s a game almost,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, yeah.
Without 3-point shooters, that's you know, hopefully they've got some
Now that
better
we have a
shooting
couple
this year.
more.
From
Got
Marcus
any
Smart.
final thoughts on Brad and Bill?
I think it's great for him to be around Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's maybe greatest coach of all time. So anything with him in his presence is great. And I think the Celtics win, I don't know, at least 5 to 10 more games just because of Brad.
Yeah. So like him versus like just a mid-tier, like
mediocre
an average coach. You throw Eric Spoelstra there.
Glad
And
to have
stuff
him.
like-
And don't forget Danny Ainge. That's a great combination there.
Yeah, I mean he helps
You
a
know,
lot. All right, we're gonna spin it. Let's see where we're going. How did you celebrate Tom's 40th birthday? Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Okay, chumps. So this is a Mike-inspired segment or section of the wheel.
and
I don't really know what it means. He's just kind of like you pick
I
a chump.
just-
We had a
you know
chump of the
where-
week
you know
like
where
that.
it comes? It comes from watching that World Africa game,
Yeah.
which I really.
That's on the wheel too.
I know we'll get to that, but I was able to see certainly one of my top chumps, not quite captain of the team, but DeMarcus Cousins. Come on.
Really? Why did you see from in the game that made him
man,
think it was a
DeMarcus
chump?
Cousins. We don't know how much he weighs now because he won't tell us.
What do you
all right?
mean? He's slimmed down. He's lost,
Yeah,
like,
but
like
they
25
said
pounds.
they want to know how much he weighs. Says, well, you're not going to know how much because I'm not going to tell you. What kind of a trick is that?
He's
And then-
being a goofball. Why does
and
that
then-
matter?
And then he loafs. He didn't run. He loafs. He
It's
walks.
an exhibition game, and he was running
Yeah,
when he
well,
needed
that
to run.
game morphed into a much more
It was
competitive
competitive.
game than that, and there's no excuse for a guy playing like. You watch what happens in New Orleans. I hope it makes Antonio Davis available to us, and
Anthony
that we
Davis.
don't blow it this time, and we're willing to give what it takes to get him. We should have done that for Porzingis, and we'll talk about that
He looks like
more.
he's in the best shape of his life, to be honest. From when I see him, his mobility
Who?
in terms when he's motivated to run, rim to
When
rim.
he's motivated.
Yeah.
You just said the word.
Yeah, so what? So maybe he's a little
Why
bit of a
is
head
he
case.
motivated?
I agree.
You
I
gotta
put,
be
I put
kidding
him
me.
on top of the line chump. He's
Yes.
top
Out.
chump.
And of course, Cosmelo gets there every time.
I knew he was going to be on the list.
Well,
I knew
we
he
talked
would.
about last week how he blew up the triangle, and I kind of fell into that, and you're right. The triangle wasn't going to work anyways. Phil needed to coach that team if he wanted the triangle. He couldn't be passing it off on someone. But he also blew up speedball. He did.
Speedball?
Speedball was on D'Antoni's game.
Oh, okay.
And John,
No, but, like, that offense wasn't fit for that.
And
You-
Jimmy Lin came in, it was on fire, and we had Linsanity, and Carmelo's out, but Carmelo didn't like what was happening with
Yeah,
Jimmy Lin, did he?
Linsanity
Did he
was
like-
a ticking
he
bomb
did-
waited to end.
No way.
Yes, it was. You
He's
can't-
a good player.
Okay, he's
They would
okay.
have been better off with him than Carmelo.
No, they would not
Yes.
have.
Well, what
Well,
have
they were
done with
screwed
Carmelo?
either way. They were screwed either way with
Their
Carmelo
team-
or
their team
Linsanity.
structure is
I-
awful, and that's the problem with Carmelo Anthony is because he's always been around miserable company.
Miserable.
Yes. Okay.
He's
Before.
the miserable company.
No,
When are you
but-
guys going to see that?
Okay, I think I said it last week, but before he came to the Nuggets, they won 19 games. Literally his rookie year, they won 42 games and made it to the playoffs. And they had a winning record every single year after that up until he left. And it was just like the only time he had a commendable supporting cast was when he had Allen Iverson, one of the toughest teammates to play if you're also an all-star.
Hey!
And another thing.
I couldn't think of my fifth man, so I gave it to AI.
Oh,
Did you hear what
from
he
a
did?
non-current
Oh,
player.
yeah. Okay, yeah, jump.
He's a chump. I mean, he blows off the big three league.
that was
and
jumpy.
where was he? The last I saw him was in a casino in Chicago.
That's hilarious.
I mean, come on. You get suspended from the big three league.
I think
so
the funniest-
He makes the team now because I can't think of my fifth
he
guy.
counts as a current player. He's playing right now, right?
Who?
Yeah, he's playing, you know?
Call that playing.
Yeah, of course. I love the big three. I'm so
You see
in.
that? I watched the first game. He hasn't got much game up, and he's not really
No, he
looking to
doesn't.
play
He doesn't look
anymore.
good.
And I think what he says, coaching?
Yeah.
Me coaching?
He looks more of like a figurehead.
I don't coach.
Yeah, he's more of like a figurehead.
That's not what he, oh, hey, I got a good player-coach combination.
Okay.
Okay, I got Matt Barnes
Matt Barnes, yeah, in for Chump.
and Derek Fisher coaching the team.
Yeah.
That'll work, huh?
Yeah, that's good Chump. They'll really get along.
Yeah, I think that'll work out great.
I really like each other.
Isn't there some lots of feuding with them?
Oh, you haven't heard
God,
about
yeah.
any of this?
Yeah.
This is
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
I just didn't know Mike knew about that.
Borrow my car, just don't borrow my wife. Matt Barnes.
So
yeah.
my Chump of the
Joe,
week,
throw it.
my Chump of the week or Chump of whatever it is, you wanted to do an all Chump
Yeah.
team, whatever it is. I have Danilo Gallinari and the Clippers organization as the Chump because they added in another swing happy player ready to break his hand with contacting another person's face to his fist. You see the highlight? Is a exhibition random game in like Italy.
Really? And he hurt himself?
Oh yeah, he broke his hand, just like Blake
Who did?
Griffin.
Gallinari?
Gallinari. Yeah.
That is chumpish.
Yeah, just like Blake Griffin did with his equipment manager, Danilo Gallinari gets up. He got like pushed a little bit. Clearly couldn't handle it. Lost
Sounds
his
like
control.
Manny Ramirez.
Takes a swing. The guy like gets knocked down. It wasn't a bad punch, but then he just immediately left the game, and it came out that he like had a fractured bone in his hand.
So he's out.
Chump.
He's my Chump.
Add him to the Chump. Who's the rest of your
Man.
starting five and your Chump?
I feel like he
Well,
said
I
five
went with
people.
D'Angelo Russell too because the way
Yeah.
he left LA certainly was pretty Trumpish, and the way he was in. And so I put AI as my point guard on that team. So I got AI and D'Angelo Russell with Matt Barnes and Carmelo on the forwards and DeMarcus Cousins at center. That's coached by Derek Fisher.
I was gonna save it for the mailbag segment, but since you say D'Angelo, one of my friends, Lucas, would like to know how do we feel about D'Angelo Russell's chances to be the most improved player and potentially be an all-star in the Eastern Conference.
I've got I liked last week when you kind of it's kind of open season on these awards because
Right.
as we're going along we can bring
Yeah,
more
of
guys.
course.
So you brought LeBron into the MVP.
Oh, yeah, I switched it. I'm on
put him up
LeBron,
there.
yeah.
Most improved player. I don't know when we want to get to it, but to me, man,
Were you not on the? You were on the show.
I was, and I went. I liked Ingram from LA, and I also liked Hood. I went with
Hood,
Rodney
yeah,
Hood.
Rodney Hood. That was a good pick.
But and I don't think D'Angelo Russell. He could be in that environment. I think it's possible he's going to play a lot better. But when we can get talking about Kristaps, I am excited about that guy. I mean,
Yeah, he looks
Oh my God! Now it looks like he's got a motor.
He does. Yeah, he has more energy.
Whoa!
He actually
was
has.
chasing down offensive rebounds.
has intensity.
So I smell Carmelo gone and Kristaps breaking out
That's another,
with the Knicks.
Another thing, I forget who asked me, but someone asked me like who's going to get the most. Oh, it was my friend Jeremy asked me who's going to attempt the most threes next year. I think that falls in line with D'Angelo. I think D'Angelo Russell might shoot like 28% next year, and he might just be gunning. Like the rest of his team is all defensive-minded players, and he's the only person who can do anything on the offense. I think he's going to lose his mind. I think he's going to be overwhelmed. I think he's not an all-star. I think he's not in running for most improved player. I think he averages less than 16 points a game.
Well, he's on my old Chump Team.
I think
Yeah, that's right.
he's just going to be in a lot of trouble. The Nets are going to win 10 games. They're going to be awful. They're going to be
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, they're still
How
gonna be the
can you
worst
give
team.
any award to a team that wins
That's
in
very
between
true.
10 and 20 games?
Right.
Yeah, I
Most
mean,
improved.
he's most improved if they aren't the last seed in the
No.
conference.
So your answer to your friend is
Yeah,
no.
he's
Yeah,
out.
no,
He's
no,
out.
no. Okay, we'll go to the next thing. Good chump of the all team, whatever. we'll add some more installments later. It looks like it's a little unweighted. Oh yeah, we already did
More
that.
chump.
See, that didn't happen with Ray.
No, it didn't. Ray never got any
Didn't
repeats.
happen with
Ray got
Ray
no
at all.
repeats. At least it wasn't Ben. Ben got like 4 ESPN.
But Ray
faces
will not
of
be
other-
spinning the wheel for a while.
No,
will
he's
he?
in Abu Dhabi. Shout out Ray in Abu Dhabi. All right, so the World African game, I just chose it. I know you watched it. It was
Yeah, I
honestly very enjoyable. So it started off just like any other exhibition game. For those of you who don't know, this is the second time that the NBA has done this. They send over basically every single player that plays in the game is in the NBA. One team is all African-born, either 1 year or one generation or
Or
two
a distant
generation.
relative.
Yeah,
or,
removed. So like
hung out in Africa when they were kids.
Right,
or-
yeah,
They
exactly.
had trouble fielding that team.
Yeah,
a little bit.
and then the world team is majorly from the U.S., but then they throw in random players like Dirk and Kristaps and players like that. And it's just, it starts off as an exhibition game, but you can tell that the players actually care and like actually want to win.
Well,
and
once they got DeMarcus out of the game, things changed quite. Well, that's the truth. I'm not really looking at the score, but the effort out there. I almost turned the station. I almost turned it off because I'm saying, oh, this is just garbage. It's just going to be. But it morphed into a game that was
intense.
More
it was high intensity.
And I think there's a lot to be said about this game. I picked up so many things from it, and I might as well go right to Porzingis. I thought Porzingis was by far the most dominating player on that floor. And the way he ran the floor, the way he chased, he looks much more physically ready to play the NBA game. He's young, but his body starts to fill out. He's working out 2 or 3 times a day.
He had several tip slams that just looks. I don't know if I guess dominant works, but I think dominating with ease is kind of more like it just looks so easy for him to play well. And in the situation that he was in, and he flowed so well in the offense, and he knew where to be. And everyone else was like forcing threes, and he wasn't. You know,
I'm glad you brought that word "flow" into it because I got a real problem with your guy, and I guess I'm devil's advocate or whatever it is, but I need to talk about Jaylen Brown.
No way. Are you kidding me? He understands the flow.
I
think he was the 3rd most impressive player in that game after Kristaps and after CJ McCollum, who I think was phenomenal. But why are you out on him?
Because I thought a lot of things. You know, I think one is that he can play his mediocre game at any level. Any level. He can play it. He can play at the highest level. He can play at the low level. But it's always mediocre because he doesn't excel in anything other than speed or athletic ability. I guess he excels in that. But there's no part of his game that is more than mediocre.
I disagree.
And the worst part of his game is that he has a horrible flow to his game.
Really?
And his game, watch. Now, the play that everybody is pointing at him is that play where he's isolated late in the 4th quarter, and he takes it in the middle, and he turns around, and he flips it back over his head left-handed.
Yeah, hang time times like 9.
Yeah, okay, that's what you saw on that. What I saw on that was, first thing, there was no help defense at all, so that wasn't coming anywhere. And I also saw every other player standing still because they have no idea what Jaylen Brown's going to do. And at this stage in his nobody knows what he's going to do when he's going to hatch the ball.
What do you think they're running plays in the World versus Africa exhibition game? There was no movement at all ever. And Jaylen moved off the ball great.
That's what created it. So the reason I say that is because part of the analysis was that, whoa, his between the legs dribble was now taking him places where he never took him before. Well, the reason he got places was because there was no help. I mean, there was guys as close as Deli is to me, and they didn't help out.
If you watch, it was they spread wide, and the big was either Boogie or whoever it was, and he just moved out to the 3-point line because it was okay. Let's let Jaylen ride. It was an isolation play call. It was okay. You can go score because we know you can.
I don't think so.
Yes, clearly that's what the play was.
I didn't watch the game, but I think Brown's got great flow. He moves without the ball.
Yeah.
He goes off screens, backdoor screens.
He is one of the best backdoor cutters. He loves backdoor alley-oops. How many backdoor alley-oops could he have had in that game if anyone had a brain to pass the ball?
Nice pass by Porzingis. Kristaps going to win a nice pass.
Okay. That's another thing. Was Jaylen Brown's passing not impressing you? Because I thought that was very, very, very impressive, especially in the fast break, 2-on-3 situations, weaving through people. He was doing great.
It's mediocre. It's okay. It's here. You know, it's all right. His ball handles. It's all right.
I really think for the stage that he is at as a second-year player, I think it's above it.
Another thing that I'm not really enamored with him is at 20 years old, he's already making himself a real good player. And he's taking that quote from Isaiah saying that it's not good enough to just be a world-class player. You've also got to be a world-class person, and you got to take it out into the community.
So he is.
Jaylen, you're no world-class player. I mean, he hasn't got. He's 20 years old. And
so it's bad to have goals and aspirations? What do you mean?
I just think he's way ahead of himself. He's way ahead of himself. It's time for. He's talking about. Well, I'm working on my. That guy. There's no way he can facilitate. He's not a. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate here because I understand your athleticism, and also I'd like to talk to Danny Ainge and I'd like to ask him, was that really on the table? And looking at that now, I would, in a heartbeat, trade Jaylen, Crowder, and 2 number 1s for Kristaps. We would be on our way. We'd be on our way if we did that.
Well,
if we had the chance again, if Antonio Davis comes up, I'd do it again. I'd trade Jaylen Brown while you've got him up here because Tatum is going to be just as good, and Tatum may be better because Tatum is a more gifted scorer. He'll fit into that team.
So I think
and it's not that Jaylen's a bad player.
It all depends on situation. In the current Celtics situation, Jason Tatum is not better than Jaylen Brown because Jaylen Brown, the things that he adds.
Score more.
So what? The things that he adds.
He'll score off the bench. I'm thinking of the team.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that our identity is defensive intensity, ability to switch across multiple positions, and ability to spot up, shoot. Jaylen is an A in all of those.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. For where he is right
now.
now.
That's where I got a problem.
For where he is right now.
How can you give him an A?
An ability to switch as a defender. An ability to switch as a defender. He can guard
I'll
2
give
through
him a B minus, but I ain't giving him an A.
You're going to see him this year. He's going to guard ones. He's going to lock them down. He's going to guard shooters. He's going to lock them down. Yes, he is. He's going to guard threes, and he's going to stop them from scoring. And he's going to be able to bang down low enough with undersized fours that he's going to be commendable on a switch.
An unknown commodity that is way ahead of the hype is way ahead of how he actually.
I really don't think he's getting that much hype. Like it's just Celtics fans love him. I love him. I'm hyping him up because I love him, and like he's one of my favorite players in the entire league. But
I hear you. That's what I mean. That's where I'm here on the other side of that, and I mean I can be wrong. We can all be wrong.
I think you gotta love his defense, his athleticism to be a good defender, and still increase is. You gotta love it. I don't know.
I've seen him in summer league twice. I've seen him in the regular season. I've seen him in the playoffs. I've seen him in this World Africa game.
He stepped up in like literally every single one of those situations. He played well.
Improvement. It's now over a year. I think he may settle in as mediocre, and what he'll end up having is he's gifted athletically, quickness-wise, but I don't think he's a world-class player.
I think that he is going to be an all-star in the league. That's what I think. What do you have any other things from the World Africa game?
Yeah, I do.
I got a couple.
I'm continually impressed with the leader of that NBA, and Adam Silver. To me,
he does great.
There's just nobody like him around. I mean, wow. When we look at the leaders we see, whether it's whatever, the country, that guy is a great leader, and every time I love one stat he threw out there. He said, in 20 years, 1 of every 4 people in the world are going to live in Africa.
Really?
That's what he said. He's checking census, really bright guy. Has to follow David Stern to come in. He handled that situation with the LA Clippers, which could have been a disease. That could have really, you could have had teams striking over that racial issue. Yes. He handled that
immediately, so quickly too,
beautifully.
Like right away. Yeah.
Right, his first thing that came out, I'm continuously seeing. He's very human. You catch it right away. I think he's 40 years old. And he just had his first child or whatever it is, and he was talking about changing the baby's diapers late at night. And he doesn't mind watching the late games. When one of the starters guys said, can we have the games on a little early? He says, I'm up at that time. I don't have one in the house.
Yeah,
I just love that guy, and he was there again, talking all about why we're in Africa, why we're playing, why we would be in China. Tremendous insight. He said, in China, the players have got to a level where they're all playing, but there's nobody developing to NBA caliber over there. They're not even getting close. They're not, and so something's wrong there. They need more. And in Africa, they're looking to learn from their mistakes, but because of the world population in those 2 places,
the Basketball Without Borders program and then this new World Africa game is really showing an initiative to want to develop basketball talent from around the world and not just from the U.S. And I think that's something that's important because the more talent you're fostering, the better your league is going to be. You know what I mean? And I think he's doing a very good job at that. I love Adam Silver. I think he does awesome. And this event is very well run. It's all based around charity and being a very humanitarian organization. The actual game itself was just an asterisk to what they did actually in Africa. They built something like 40 different houses through like a Habitat for Humanity or something like that for these people that didn't have anything. I forget. Andre Drummond was like giving out every single personal item he had on him to like kids in random villages. Like there was just so many stories from them. I think they were there like a week and a half. But it was such like a footnote. The game was like a footnote in what they were doing over there. I really appreciate that.
I think another take I got from that is that the quality of that game, again, it started out where you're watching it and you're not sure you can plug into this because it's too much of an exhibition game, but it developed into something competitive, not completely competitive, but decently competitive. And looking at that, I would say we got to find a way to take care of that NBA All-Star team. This is ridiculous. An exhibition game overseas in Africa.
Well, it's because
they go and they compete. yet you put them on the floor in front of the people that want to see them the most, and they don't even play a game.
It's
They
because
need some more incentive or something in the All-Star game.
I don't think it's incentive. I think what it is you need the right players. You can't have DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
You can't have Dirk Nowitzki or guys at the end of their career because they really don't want to. They don't want to do it.
The crowd loved Dirk. Dirk played in that game. He got the loudest applause for the world
yes,
team.
he did.
For the world
I mean,
team. For the
they
world
were
team.
there again because he's older and everything. He wasn't going to play all the. Kristaps played a lot of minutes.
He did.
See how many minutes he played?
you
That
could
was
tell he was
really
a
impressive.
namesake.
But we got to take something from that game. And if guys like Jaylen Brown and McCollum and Porzingis and if those guys can go out and put out and give us, and actually so that we can see how they play, and that's what the All-Star game should do for us. We should be able to see. I went back to an old ABA All-Star game where they had Julius Erving and David Thompson in the dunk contest.
Oh my God,
And,
Marco.
well, you say, "Oh my God," but then you watch and say, "Well, we've come a long way since those times." Even
David
since
Thompson
Dr.
was
J, and they
great.
weren't that. But the game was unbelievably competitive. And Russell will tell you that when that game came, if he was against Chamberlain or against somebody else, that was war out there for him. I don't expect to see that again. But that game we saw in Africa, that's got to tell us that we can do a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous what's happening. It's embarrassing.
All of
what's
the things that
happened to
you're
that
pointing
game.
towards being a strong
You gotta find a way.
aspect, a strong aspect of the game, and what the NBA All-Star Game isn't, all point towards player character in the game. So formerly All-Star games, you go back to when like Jordan was playing Magic, and those people cared about beating each other, and it was competitive, and they didn't like each other. And if you come to the NBA now, all these players are friends. They're playing against one another. It's lighthearted. It doesn't matter. And then on the opposite side, not opposite side of the spectrum, but in the World Africa game, you can tell that there was a sense of pride with the African team where they cared about winning and they wanted to win in front of. I mean, like all these players weren't like first generation African players, but people came through this pipeline system of basketball without borders. Like Luke Richard Mbamute, that was like one of the best games I've seen him play in like the past couple of years.
You know what really
You know what I
liked?
mean? Like, so these people are actually putting it online because they think that they're playing for their country, and it's something that they show a lot of pride and enthusiasm for. So I don't think that's something that you can replicate.
You have to.
But
Trey.
obviously I want to, and if you can, you do it.
have
But
to.
like, how can you replicate pride? Like, you can't replicate pride and force people to be prideful and encouraged.
You can't tell me Isaiah Thomas is not a prideful player. You can't tell me that so many of those. What happens is it gets the guys that play like DeMarcus Cousins and Russell Westbrook in those situations. That they dictate that negative flow where they're almost running backwards in that game, and it carries over to everything they do. They got to find a way. If the guys aren't going to run, then find something else for them to do. And if the guys that are going to run, they get to play. If you're not going to run, and if they can't, I just don't. I think it's an important game. It's a big. They have like 6 or 7 days off. They have all these events. And
I think it's even like it's like
the
the LeBron problem. LeBron doesn't want to do the dunk contest because he doesn't want to get embarrassed. He thinks he's like this god, and he doesn't want to. He thinks he's not going to live up to it.
He has done it, hasn't he? Done it?
LeBron's never done the dunk contest. But it's the same thing. They don't want to be embarrassed, so they don't try hard on defense. And that's the problem.
What they're doing is embarrassing.
Well, right. Well, that's what it is. It's they're not going to try on defense.
I'll throw another player that I like from the
last
game.
one.
That's Clint Capella.
Really?
Oh God, I thought he was terrific.
He's going to play good with Chris Paul this year.
And the announcers did some good things.
They did okay. I liked Doris Burke.
They had one really bad one, and one real bad one's not bad when you got to do a game like that. We even have bad ones on the wheelhouse, don't we?
Of course.
Yeah. The triangle, Carmelo blowing up the triangle. I should have never said that. But anyway, Clint Capella. The announcer said he plays through contact, and that's such an important concept at that level of play that they can take hits and still finish what they're doing. Another thing I don't like about Jaylen Brown is that I'm just telling you, he can finish if he's dunking. If he's not dunking, he doesn't finish really well.
I immediately disagree. I think he plays through contact fantastic. If you go back and walk his highlight tapes, he has the ability to move after contact in the air with both hands.
He has a lot of double pumps after getting contact.
I feel like the highlight play that you mentioned literally defies that statement. Like that was the most contact.
Which play? That wasn't any contact.
That was all of the contact. That was the contact.
Had the center stand. There was no contact, but the guy was playing him. The other guys didn't even come. They didn't contest him.
Jaylen Brown came in. Jaylen Brown came in attempting to do either a right-handed layup. No, and he got hit, forced to turn because of the contact initiated, and had to throw it back.
If that didn't go in, it was a bad shot.
Yeah, no, it was a shot that he was forced into because of the defense.
All right. You know, I say one more thing. I think with Kristaps Porzingis, I think the thing we got to watch out for him is that his feet have problems. And that you look at Yao Ming, you look at Bill Walton.
Injuries?
Kristaps has had a bad Achilles. He's had and a guy that size historically has had troubles with his career, and I'm worried about that a little bit with Kristaps.
I've noticed that they've been like small, like nitpicky things. I haven't really seen
Yeah,
anything
but
that's held in a
Walton's
long term. I know what
career
you mean.
ended, and Yao Ming's ended, and I hope not.
We'll keep our eye on it. Hopefully he doesn't. All right, last spin of the wheel. All right, I just want to say Stanley Johnson scored 86 points in a game. That's why we want to talk about that, but we're not going to talk about that. All right, Pistons versus.
Must have been the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah. All right. The Pistons have showed interest in Kyrie Irving. This is going to be a pretty short one. Kyrie didn't like come out and say that Pistons would be willing to be on his list, but I wanted to say that what do you guys think that the Pistons could offer that could land him? And also, the Cavs officially released their new jerseys today, and Kyrie was in the promotion. So
he was in it.
He was in the promotion.
Of course.
So do you think that's a PR move? Do you think that means that they're not
Well,
getting
first of
traded?
all-
And if he is getting traded, if it's the Pistons, what's happening?
He doesn't get to dictate teams. He's on a contract.
Right,
He
I agree.
can't dictate what teams he's going to be traded to.
But he can come out and say, I would be willing to go to that team.
Who's Detroit going to give up for him? Drummond?
Maybe. I think that they would have to offer Drummond and someone else, and I don't know if they'd be willing to do that because when they were fielding offers for Drummond at the end of the year last year, and I was like, oh, the Celtics.
We talked
the
about
Celtics
Kyrie a
should
lot
get
last week, and
Yeah.
I'm up on his talent at 26 years old, and I think he's got a window of greatness that's still in him, I think.
I think Kyrie might be getting on your chump list if he goes to the Pistons. That's what I
Why is he a
think.
chump? He sees LeBron.
If he goes to the
LeBron's
Pistons,
gonna
he's
bail
gonna be a
out.
chump.
LeBron's the chump in that situation because LeBron pretty much everybody knows he's leaving, and Kyrie doesn't want to be the last guy standing.
Why doesn't he want to be the last guy standing? That's the same
Because-
thing if he goes to the Pistons. He's going to be the last man standing by himself on the Pistons.
Yeah, why not just wait?
Why not?
Well, I don't think he's going to the Pistons.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he's going anywhere, and I think that team, again, we talked about them last week, I think that team there's not a lot wrong with that team that can't be fixed.
It's true. All right, we're going to be done with the wheel for now. I do want to just talk quickly about something on the wheel. Over-unders is just a couple things for the upcoming year that we can get your stake in. I'm just going to ask you guys, over-under, Zach LaVine on the Chicago Bulls, 23 points per game, over and under.
That's so high.
Yeah, I know.
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half. He averaged 20 points a game last year on a team with Wiggins and Karl Towns.
I just don't.
He's the best player on that team.
Did he average 20 points a game?
He averaged 20
and
points a game.
How much did he miss of the season?
He played almost half, right?
He played about half the season.
No, he played more than that. I think he left in January.
I'm surprised. It's a
got hurt in
surprise to me
January.
that he averaged 20. But
Okay.
I can't see 23.
But is he not the best player on that team?
Yes.
Is he not going to get the most shot attempts on that
And
team?
he's going to get. I think 20 points a game is. I would say under 23, but I would be okay with another 20, 21 points a game.
At this point in his career, I see a lot of Jaylen Brown in him.
Get out of here. It's
No,
ridiculous.
just saying.
All right, Jaylen and Jason Tatum over under 40 minutes per game combined. So last year, Jaylen played 17 minutes a game. For a little benchmark. Over, wow.
Over.
I hope it's over,
If
but
it's not over, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I'm going to be very disappointed. But okay, so another thing is Avery played 33 minutes a game last year, and Marcus Smart played 30. But Marcus Morris over in Detroit also played 34 minutes a game. Do you think
20.
You think Marcus
Wait,
Morris?
what?
You think Marcus Morris is going to go down to
Marcus
20?
Morris 20 minutes. 20
I
minutes.
think he gets
Well,
20.
so minutes
He's
is gonna
getting more
come.
minutes than that.
I don't think so. I think they got enough. I think they got enough there that he's going to be a 20, 24 minute a game guy.
All right, it's in the books. Philadelphia 76ers over under 38 wins.
Back to Africa.
Okay.
Joel Embiid took his normal position, didn't he?
What about it? On the bench
On
as
the
an injured?
left end of the bench.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's
It's
hurt.
now 4 years. He's played 35 games in 4 years.
It's 31. It's precautionary.
It's precautionary. The guy's still injured 4 years later.
He's going to come out. He's going to be
What the
incredible.
heck?
He's going to be incredible. He's going to be incredible. Just wait. He's going to be
Can't
incredible.
even play yet.
38 wins for the
So
Sixers.
what was the question?
38 wins. Over
For who?
under.
For Philadelphia?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Under.
38.
Under.
38. I think it's all dependent on Embiid and your boy here.
Benjamin.
I mean, it's all about if they play games. If they do, yes, I say greater over 38. But since I don't think that's going to happen, I'd say probably in the 30s.
I'm picking over 38. Devin Booker, season high for points. He scored 70 last year. 45 points. Over under 45 points for a season high for Devin
I
Booker.
say over. He's just lights. He has lights out. He's going to shoot so many three-pointers.
That's what it is.
He didn't even shoot a lot of three-pointers in that game.
No, he didn't.
That's what
Like
it is.
It was all mid-range jump shots.
He could go for record three-pointers in a game. No
Boston
problem.
Celtics 2.5 All-Stars.
How do you get a half an all-star?
Well,
It's
you
an
have to
over-under.
say
It's
3
an
or 2.
over-under.
What are you
Over-under.
picking,
It's
3 or
an
2?
over-under.
2.6 and under.
So you only got Gordon Hayward and Isaiah Thomas.
Who else?
Yeah, me too.
I think that we're gonna have 3.
I don't think. You
Who
think
do you think?
Horford?
You think Horford's making an all-star team?
Yeah.
Well,
We're gonna be the best
if
team
we
in the
get
weakest conference.
We're gonna have to have 60 wins.
No, we're gonna get like 57, 58.
Watch out for
Maybe if we
Cleveland.
get 58, maybe we're gonna get 3 all-stars.
Okay, last over under. The Warriors play 19 playoff games.
So there's how many rounds?
There's 3 rounds and then there's the finals. So this year they played
16,
17.
17,
They
and
played
1.
17.
Or 16 and
They
1.
were 16 and 1.
Over.
Over. I go definitely
I'm
over.
picking over 2. All right, so we're gonna do 1 round of cards, and then we got a new segment to do after that. Hopefully, I got some new cards. We're gonna do different things with cards today. We're gonna play 3 on 3 with cards. So I'm only gonna give you like 5 cards.
Okay.
Got it?
We're playing 3 on 3, so we're in the big.
We're in the big 3.
Pick 3 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No coaches.
Okay, I got some studs.
Wow. I got some chumps.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Oh my goodness. Oh!
Okay, I'm ready.
This is awful. What did you throw? Or did I get Shays from last week?
You're just gonna be sitting in the bench.
I don't even know who that is. I was hoping you would get him. Who is that?
John Drew. He
Who
was
is
a
that?
pretty good player.
He averaged, if you look on the back of the card, he averaged like 20 points a game like 6 times. Played in the 70s. I have no clue who this
His
guy is.
son is now a player, I think. He might even, I know he's in the league or he's a college player, but
What's your 3?
I got Allen Iverson.
I got 3 top 50 players of all time. I got Gary Payton, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Karl Malone. That would dominate my defense in a 3-on-3 game with Gary Payton and Olajuwon. And Malone would just bully people in the post. There's no way you can match up against Malone and Olajuwon.
Okay,
I want to play you.
I just want to play. I just want to point out he has Allen Iverson in his hand. He has Allen Iverson in his hand.
Allen Iverson.
He has Allen Iverson
He's
in
a
his
chump.
hand, and he
He's a
chose
chump.
2 guards that
He's
isn't
a
Allen
chump. I
Iverson.
ain't playing no chump.
He chose Lou Will and Steve Kerr over Allen Iverson.
That's all I got.
That's crazy. You're
all I got.
immediately lost.
You're out.
I have David.
Like, how can I play a guy off my chump team like that? No way.
Because at one time he wasn't a chump.
I have David Robinson,
He always
Charles
was a
Barkley,
chump.
and
Yeah.
Avery Bradley. So I think Avery Bradley can neutralize
He's
Gary
great
Payton
chump.
on the offensive end with his
Awesome.
defense.
Gary Payton's not a problem on offense. He's just going to be throwing
Distributing?
alley-oops.
Yeah,
and
not with Avery on him. He's gonna shut that down. And I mean we're pretty evenly strapped.
similar
evenly. All right, you got the choice. You
matchups.
got the choice. 3v3. Who wins the game? Me versus Logan.
I'm going here.
Okay, that's
Yes.
the winner. Logan wins. All right, new segment. This segment is called Faces,
Faces.
and we're gonna start off. We got two different groups of faces.
Oh!
And the
Cool.
first group of faces is a Celtics-inspired face. So you get one Jason Tatum. You
I
get
want a
one,
Jason. I
you
want
get one
Jason.
Jason Tatum. You get one Gordon Hayward.
Oh,
You get one Gordon Hayward.
nice face.
You get one Jaylen Brown, even though you don't
Oh,
deserve
you like
one.
Jaylen Brown?
Even
You
though you don't
gotta
deserve one.
hold that one in pride.
So the game is simple. I'm gonna read out a fact, and then you're going to hold up the player that you think that fact applies
Okay.
to. It's just gonna be like a certain thing
Okay.
about that. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're going to do first one to like, I don't even know. We'll choose one whenever we stop. So this player was first recognized in a newspaper for his accomplishments as a mixed doubles tennis player. Played with his twin sister.
I don't know.
It seems like
Yeah,
Mike
how
knew.
do you get it?
It seems like Mike knew.
Oh, yeah, I knew.
You knew that. You
I
knew
don't-
he was
I
a mixed
don't
doubles
see-
player?
I don't see
He was a
Jaylen
tennis-
Brown playing tennis. I don't see Jason Tatum playing
true.
tennis.
No, I know all about he was a tennis player, and he was a really good tennis player.
He was
because
good.
He's one of those guys. How many guys grew 6 inches when they were
Right. He was like
some of
5'11".
the guys you see now.
So
Kelly
does
Olynyk.
this mean that he's a ping pong player too? You think he
I
could
would
keep
think
up with
so.
us?
No way. He doesn't stand a chance against us.
Well,
Maybe he'd be the
we
fourth
might
in
find some
doubles.
common ground
Yeah.
with him, which would be awesome.
I mean, he played tennis.
gets
It's the same
point.
swing.
Mike gets the point there. All right. This player's hobbies include acoustic guitar, hot yoga, table tennis, and chess.
Oh my God!
I think I'd pick Jaylen Brown because of chess.
I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown.
You guys are copycats. Logan wins. You picked Jaylen Brown
He
first.
did. I
and
was
he got
just thinking
first.
about it. Acoustic guitar.
Acoustic guitar.
I
Well,
might change.
he got ping pong. He got ping pong in there.
Yeah, but I might change. on
This
the acoustic
player
guitar.
last Halloween dressed up his kids as an elephant and a strawberry.
Elephant and a strawberry.
Well-
Does he have kids?
Yeah. Well, he's got kids.
Nobody's got kids.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Guys
he
got kids, we got a problem, right?
Yeah, maybe they have kids.
That's
Could
probably.
be.
You're true.
Mike got another one. This player has a German Shepherd named Bubby.
Tatum.
Wrong. Gordon Hayward again.
Oh, I was just going by default. So it's got to be,
He's just
there's
the
gotta
family.
be a Tatum
He's got
coming
the
up.
kids and a dog.
Before his mom discovered that she was pregnant with this player, his mother was offered a scholarship to play volleyball at Tennessee. You know all my facts. It doesn't count. You knew that?
Well, I mean, when you said mom.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, the summer league.
That's
you know?
true. That's true. Good. Yeah.
Oh.
Good use of intellect, I guess.
Yes.
It was actually a pretty funny story that what's his mom's name? Mama Tatum. Mama Tatum brought Jason to school with her when she was at school,
Yeah.
just as a toddler,
I think she's
because she had
a
no
lawyer.
idea. Yeah, she got her
she's an
degree.
attorney.
In 5th grade, this player averaged 25 points a game in an adult summer league.
Jaylen. Jaylen's a dominant
I'm going
athletic
Tatum.
force.
Mike wins.
Man.
Jason Tatum
Because I
averaged
think he's a
25
late
points a
bloomer.
game.
I think he came to the
In
game
an
a little
18
later.
and up game, he was allowed to play because his dad was one of the coaches in the league.
There you go.
This player, so 2 of these 3 players won a state championship in high school. Pick the player that did not.
Hayward.
Logan wins. Gordon Hayward did not win a state championship
Wow.
in high school.
I was thinking Jaylen Brown never won a championship.
Yeah, because you don't like Jaylen Brown.
No,
He's a winner. He's a winner.
He's
He's a winner. This player was given an Xbox as a gift, but he gave it away because he doesn't like video games. Jaylen
a
Brown.
nerd.
Jaylen Brown. Both
He's
got
He's
it.
He's
a
a nerd.
little intellectual, and
You
he's
both
so
got
from
Hayward.
And I don't know about Tatum, but Tatum might be too. His mother's an attorney. You don't know.
Before being drafted, he opted not to hire an agent, instead looking to advice from former players Sharif Abdurrahim and Isaiah Thomas, the old Isaiah Thomas, not the new, not the short one.
This just happened,
No
but I
agent.
don't know.
No agent. Nope. Jaylen Brown did not hire an agent
Jaylen
before his
Brown.
drafting process.
I'll give him credit. For
Okay,
that,
we're gonna
too.
do 2
I'm starting
more.
to like him better.
Yeah, good. This guy averaged
Okay.
17 and 7 in college.
17 and 7. I think they all did. All 3. I think 3.
That's good.
They all didn't. They all averaged like
I
18
wish
and 8.
I wish it was all 3. Jason Tatum is the correct answer. Jaylen
What was Jaylen?
15 and 5.
And he didn't average 17.
Yeah, he was probably over 17.
Yeah, it was more, but he didn't get that many enough rebounds. Bradley Beal's mom coached his mom in high school basketball.
Wow.
Bradley Beal's.
Bradley Beal's mom.
Trying to do age, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's one of these 2 guys.
I'm going with Tatum again.
Mike gets it correct. It was
You're on
Tatum.
fire.
And I think that is, yeah, that's all I have. All
That was
right.
an awesome game.
We got more. There's more. It gets harder because now you have more options.
More faces.
More faces.
More
Get those
faces.
faces out of the way. So this is a unicorn segment of faces. We got Giannis. You got a Giannis.
Giannis.
You got Chris Stapps.
Oh, there's
You
a
got
guy.
a- you
Look
got
at
a
this.
Chris
Look at the
Chris
face.
Stapps
He
looking
looks like a
mean.
baby.
You get Joel
baby.
Embiid. You get Joel Embiid. You get a Nikola Jokic. You get a Nikola Jokic.
Wow.
And then you both get a Karl Towns.
Carl Towns. Carl
Yep.
Anthony Towns. Now, he'll play hard in the All-Star game.
He would play very hard
He
in the All-Star
would.
game. I agree. All right, so this player learned English through Rick Ross songs. Mike, do you know who Rick Ross is?
Probably a rapper.
Yes, good guess.
Jokic.
Immediately got it. Got it.
got
Joel
it.
Embiid.
Embiid.
Immediately got it. Yeah, D'Angelo Russell. Well, another one of your chumps.
Well, see, he's got a lot of time on his hands.
He does. He didn't go. He went to the same high school as Embiid, and he said that when we first met Embiid, Embiid knew no English and would just say rap lines from Rick Ross's songs.
He's good personality.
This
Embiid.
player's biggest critic is his imaginary friend.
Cat. Cat seems like a character that would make somebody up.
I'll go with.
The imaginary friend is Carlito. Carl Anthony Towns has an imaginary friend named Carlito. Yeah, crazy. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 players were selected before this player in the NBA draft: C.J. McCollum, Michael Carter-Williams, Steven Adams, Kelly Olynyk, and Shabazz Muhammad. You got it correct.
We got it.
Yeah,
Giannis.
Giannis.
What pick was he? Great.
Either 14 or 15.
Yeah, late. He's late.
This player asked Rihanna on a double date with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I'm just going with this guy because he's a character.
That was a trick question because he actually asked Rihanna out, and Rihanna said make an All-Star game first. But the correct answer is Kristaps.
Kristaps. Oh, he loves New York.
Yeah. This player's favorite food is melon.
Giannis.
Wrong. Kristaps.
Kristaps loves melon.
Kristaps loves melon. This is my favorite one. Okay, this player wanted to be a jockey as a child, but was too overweight to get on a horse. So instead, he loved horses so much that he got into harness racing, like on a chariot. Both correct. Both correct. Nikola Jokic was too fat as a kid, so he did harness racing instead of horse giant. Yeah, I mean, he was big.
These are good little things on them.
This player's brothers were restrained from attacking refs after a loss last season.
Giannis.
Both of you incorrect. It's Jokic again.
Jokic's brothers.
Yeah, they're both like MMA fighters. They're huge. It's crazy. Let's see.
Wasn't his dad a fighter too?
I know Kristaps got his brothers. That's who cooks his food. Is his brothers.
Yep. This player recorded 2 quadruple doubles in high school.
2 quadruple. I'm going Cat.
You both got it correct. Mike, put it up first so he gets the point. This player's parents never sit together at games, although they're married, happily married, but they never sit together at games.
I have no clue. The Cat.
The Cat is correct. So funny story about this. All throughout his undefeated season, or almost undefeated season at Kentucky, his parents never sat together, and the reason is his dad likes to watch the game and be really focused and be like quiet and silent, and his mom's a maniac and jumps up and down and claps her hands and screams and stomps her feet. But they messed up the seeding, and they forced his parents to sit together in the championship game, or the semifinal game that they lost. So they were undefeated in every game, and they had never sat together. And in the one game that they sit together, they lose. Crazy.
Are they superstitious? They'd be pretty upset.
They were very upset. This player's father is in the military and played professional handball.
Jokic.
Answer is Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, professional handball playing dad. Let's see. This player used to drink a gallon of Coke a day and has a stash of fine meats in his home country.
Coke? Jokic.
Logan wins. Jokic. We just talked about how this kid was overweight.
Okay, that's true.
Let's see. We got a couple more here. For the first 18 years of his life, this player had no citizenship anywhere. No papers for any country.
It's got to be Giannis. It's got to be Giannis.
Giannis. Logan wins for that one.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple more. His father is a former Olympic high jumper.
All of them. Cat. I mean, they're all giants.
They all are very big, yes. Choice, you got a choice. It worked. Giannis is the correct answer. All right, we're going to do 2 more. So this player was 4th in triple doubles last year, behind Westbrook, Harden, and LeBron.
4th in triple doubles.
Yep.
I'm going to go crazy pick.
I'm going with Giannis.
Crazy pick, Logan wins with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic wins.
So what, the block shots?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's just assists.
He's like the best passing big man in the league right now.
Okay, he is a good passer, you're right. Don't get to see him play enough. I don't like that out
You
there.
should watch the Nuggets. The Nuggets are exciting.
I'd love to watch him, but
This player claims to have killed a lion when he was 6 years old.
He would say that. He would definitely say that.
yeah, I mean, he got it first, so I
Yeah,
shouldn't do him.
yeah, you got it. Well,
right,
you're both right. Okay, last one. At one point, this player was a camper, and his counselor at this camp was Luke Richard Mbamute.
Well, just because of this picture, this baby face picture, I'm picking camper Kristaps.
I'll go with Embiid again.
Embiid is the correct answer.
Yes.
That wins it. I think it was tied, even though I'm just making up the scores in my mind.
Okay.
Good job. Like the new segment, Faces.
Awesome.
We got to come up with different
Really
things
cool.
in
Nice
the future.
faces. Nice faces.
Let's do a couple mailbags, and then I have a gift for Logan.
Wow. I started doing my Christmas shopping for you guys.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Early. It's very early.
Well, I made my list.
Who will be the Celtics' most frequent finishing 5? This is an altered question from Connor from Dartmouth.
Okay.
Most frequent.
Well, I think we're going to go. You're going to have Thomas in there. You're going to have Smart in there. You're going to have Haywood in there. You're going to have Horford in there. So it's just a matter of who the 5th guy is. I'm going to say Jaylen Brown.
I'm going to say the exact same lineup. Even after you just harped on Jaylen Brown,
Well,
you agree he's defensively versatile in small ball lineups.
You can be a fifth man on a team and be he plays his level of ball at any level of ball. It's just not through the roof.
What's your finishing five?
I think the same thing, but I might think Marcus Morris is going to be in there over Jaylen Brown.
He doesn't fit the same way as the rest of the players fit.
Yeah, he's a little bit thing.
So
free throws are pretty boring. Big Mike from Upton or wherever he lives now. Should the NBA find a way to eliminate or drastically reduce free throws, and how could they do it?
Not until DeAndre Jordan and Drummond learn how to shoot them. That'd be bailing those guys out. That's ridiculous. You gotta. If those guys can't shoot them, you take away. It gives too much of an advantage to those guys that can't shoot the foul shot.
The game is actually trending towards less free throws overall anyway because there's more shooting, there's less contact at rim.
Because they're so far away from the hoop, it's hard to get out there.
It's trending down.
What's your thought on the grandma shot? You don't like the grandma?
Well, nobody's ever going to want to learn it again, but Rick Barry would say that's almost.
Yes, you see that commercial?
If they're that bad, why not?
Rick Barry has a commercial that came out like last year.
Bad shooters have tried that before. Shaquille O'Neal tried it, and Will Chamberlain tried it, and neither one of them were able to shoot it. So it's not. You can still be a bad shooter.
You need to have form. It's like you need to be a good shooter to shoot them, regardless of what it is.
And then Rondo can't shoot foul shots either, so it's not just a.
Well, why not try? If you stink that bad, why not try?
Nate from Upton or wherever he lives now would like to know who would have been better in the NBA, Gronk or Darko Milicic?
Darko, what do you mean? Darko Milicic that played in the NBA?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to take Gronk.
Biggest bust. Did you watch that E60?
Especially now he's on Tom Brady's diet.
Did you watch that E60 on Darko? Like the biggest loser of all time?
Well, he's not.
It was actually pretty sad. Like it was like he was just like I hated.
It's not like it wasn't his fault. I mean, that they saw what in him.
I agree.
But Gronk's doing Tom Brady's nutrition diet, and he's seeing the light with I think Gronk could play.
What would Gronk play? Power forward? He'd be like a Charles Barkley.
He was nasty in high school.
Just let him rebound.
He was nasty in high school. He was
He
dominant.
would take up space.
I mean, the bodies are going to go flying.
He would take out some space.
He's going to find that a lot easier than competing on the football field in terms of contact.
Yep.
He'd probably even wear a helmet.
Next question, Joe. I have no clue where you're from, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Joe would like to know, will LeBron's son make it to the league while LeBron is still in the league?
No.
So right now his kid, I'm pretty sure is 13, might have just turned 14. So that means in 7 years, will LeBron still be playing in the league? And will he make it?
Yeah. I think it'd be fantastic. It'd be like Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic if it could happen. And that brings up a thought. I mean, when you had KG on the board, I mean, I think they should get back to guys coming out of high school to be able to play. You know, that's the way of restructuring what's going on with a one and done.
We're going to talk about that.
What a tragedy that is. But other than LeBron and KG, I was trying to think of other guys. I mean, I remember Spencer Haywood was the first guy.
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith. Some guys that didn't really make it, that came out. So if that rule is in effect, you have a better shot at doing it.
Yeah, there's some random people. More questions from Joe. He sent me like a full paragraph. Will Kristaps ever surpass Dirk in all-time points?
Well,
meaning that's like top 10 all-time points.
No,
so I'm saying no way.
Come on, 30,000 points. But one thing I would say, I meant to say it when we were talking about Kristaps, is you gotta want that he was looking to work out with Bill Walton and not with Dirk, because
he did both though. He worked out both.
I don't know. He's worked out with Walton too, because he needs work on his inside game. He doesn't really need work on his outside game.
I forget if it's Instagram or Twitter or something like that, but he posts pictures in like workout clothes with Bill Walton. Once.
Really? Yeah. Okay, good.
Jaylen does that too. Jaylen works out with Bill Walton all the time.
Oh, I mean that really restructures things for him. I'm saying that, I'm telling you.
I can't believe I didn't say that right away.
And Walton said that Garcia was a real good basketball guy.
Really?
I couldn't tell you that from me. You know,
just from Bill Walton.
Just Bill Walton said that. I mean, Bill Walton used to play drums with the Dead sometimes.
Okay, one more question from Joe. What is Terry Rozier's ceiling?
Ceiling, like ultimate ceiling would be, what is he, the 8th guy on the team? 3rd guy off the bench?
I'm saying he's.
I'm going much higher than that.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm going with all-star top 15 player. Because
top 15 player
in the league
in his position.
I think he has not been given the opportunity. We've seen a tremendous upswing in his ability, and I think there's a lot more to come.
That's a big jump. Well, that's a crazy ceiling.
I think he can score. Yep. I think he can hit. I think he's got the wiggle. So that
he's a fantastic rebounder.
He's really got a lot going for him, and that you haven't tapped yet. And I don't know whether you're going to see it on this team either. I'm hoping that maybe he's one of the ones that rises up, but I think he's got a lot of potential.
I can compare him to when the Dallas Mavericks were like super, super deep, and they had all those young guards. Who were the young guards? And it was like when they won the championship too.
Nash.
No, it was like even players I don't really like Harris.
Rodrigue Lebois.
No, like they were like good players, and maybe George Hill,
Yep.
and they just didn't get a lot of minutes, but they showed sparks. That's what I kind of think Rozier's ceiling could be if he gets to a new team.
I really like him.
I was going to say his ceiling is. I
like
literally
his
was going to
fire.
say his ceiling was a top 15 point guard, which is
Top
when
15
you
point
when you
guard.
started to say that, I was
He's
like,
gonna
oh yeah,
have to
I
get a
agree.
job. He's going
I
to get
agree.
a job
No, I think he could.
to really see what he can do.
Yeah, I think he can be a top half of the
But
league starting point
I
guard.
think he could be a starting point guard in the league for sure. And
but you
they
said
well,
top
what's
15
the ceiling on him? You know, I think the ceiling is
But that's like the stratosphere.
I guess, but I can see him being a real player.
All right, we're running out of time. I didn't give Logan a birthday gift on his birthday, so I got a birthday gift for him now.
Wow, very
You got
nice.
some Nikes.
Yep.
I never a Deli ones.
Oh, look at this. Got some kicks.
Yeah.
My favorite player growing
Birthday
up.
gift.
Penny.
All right, that's all the time we have today. I don't know where I'm looking.
I can't
whatever.
find London anywhere.
No, thank God. Yeah, where's my dollar?
My
He's not
daughter
making
lives
a
in
team.
London, but I can't find
Where's
him
my
anywhere.
dollar? He's not gonna. Thank you for joining the Wheelhouse. Until next week or whenever we'll be back. Have a good one, guys.